Hello friends. Now this is our third lecture on deconstructive thinking towards deconstructive thinking, and yesterday, you remember in the last class we saw what is sign. Signs, traffic signs, you have got religious signs, isn't it? For example, this is a religious sign. It's a cross, isn't it? That's also a sign. Phonetic signs are there. Now we are dealing with linguistic science. And what is linguistic science? We know there are two inseparable parts, or as we can say, two inseparables for linguistic sign. One is signifier and the other is signified. Or in good old days we used to say that, to make it more scientific we are using these words. Otherwise in good old days we used to say what? Word and meaning. Yes. And then we saw that this signifier is empty. There's nothing in it except cluster of letters or cluster of sounds. Sounds means phonetic symbols. So if you say like this, dog, that is D-O-G. It's a cluster of what we call alphabets. Or if you write like this, this will be a cluster of phonetic symbols. What is no meaning at all? Unless you give meaning. So far it is only signified. Now you have to give signified for the meaning. And then it gets that it becomes a linguistic sign. Otherwise, this is not a linguistic sign. For a linguistic sign, there should be two inseparables. One is signifier and the other is signified. That we saw. Now, this meaning-giving process is arbitrary. This is very important. This meaning-giving process, not meaning is arbitrary, but meaning-giving process is arbitrary. Arbitrary means, yesterday I told you, I showed you examples of arbitrary means cannot be explained by your reason. No reason why. Why do you call dog dog? Do you find any part of dog here? Nothing of this. There is no bow, or there is no, you don't find the ears of the dog, legs of the dog, nothing of that. Or what happened is some people came together and said at some time, at some point in time, say when they were using a particular language, they were called a creature like this, an object dog, so it is dog. And all the other people, they did not question that, they all agreed. So the tradition or culture or whatever you call it, they agreed, and therefore there is no other reason, no logic, nothing of this sort. So the meaning giving, what is meaning means actually, meaning process means the objects, connecting it with the object, linking it with the object, objects in the world, or created things, or even ideas will be. Communism is not a thing, but it is an idea, a concept you can say. Right? So this is very important. The meaning-giving process is arbitrary. And meaning means, signified means, object connecting it with the objects in the world. As far as possible, concrete things we can see. Otherwise, communism you cannot see. But you can see people, communists you can see. Isn't it? Like that. And then we saw that it should be arbitrary, again I told you, different languages use different signifiers for same object in the world. For example, I said father, that object is same, but Hindi we say acha, Hindi we say pida, Malayalam we say achan, Tamil we say appa, then Latin we say pater, and English we say father, and Greek and Spanish and so on. So the object is the same, but the signifiers are different. But signified is the same. Signifiers are different because why? The language, the users of that particular language, they just call it by a name. No reason why. So that way. Otherwise, what you should, if there is a logic, then all the languages should have same signifier for the same signifier. It is not like that. It is as you like it, as you wish. As you say now, when Polonius asked Hamlet, what do you read, my lord? Then what did he say? Words, words, words. Means nothing. Words have no meaning, nothing. It's empty. But when you give meaning, and the meaning giving process is arbitrary, what is meant by giving meaning is connecting with the object or objects of the world. That's it. Then another point that we made is that the signifiers should remain within a structure. For example, Billy should remain within the structure of Hindi for Billy to get the meaning of cat. Cat should remain within the structure of English for cat to get the meaning of that object cat. Like that. Otherwise what happens? If you are outside the structure, there's no meaning. Right. I think that those things are now all clear. Now, next point is, actually when you consider this is, when you really come to know what it is, it's nothing but, it's very simple, and there are some words like this, signifier, signified, arbitrary, relation, and all those things. Otherwise, not much we know all these things, so to say, but we are putting it in such a way that make things very scientific and very clear. Signifier and signified existed before we called them signifier and signified. We call them word and meaning, that's all. So word will have many other, what do you call it? You cannot define word, it is. Okay, I don't want to enter into all those things, right? Now, we saw that language is relational. There is only relationship in a language. You take a dictionary, you take. Let us take English dictionary. What do you find? Dictionary of English. What do you get? Millions of signifiers. And they are all, in one way or other, you find part of that structure, English. Part of that system or structure called English. Ferdinand de Saussure calls that langue. So we can say part of that langue, L-A-N-G-U-E. So the signifier should remain as part of the langue or part of that system which is used by people. Say English people, their system is English. Their language is English. Malayalam is Malayalam. Hindi is Hindi. Their language means their system. For Spanish it is Spanish. Spaniards it is Spanish. For Italians it is Italian. Like that. So this language means system. Within the system. And they are related. So if you take the dictionary of English, what do you find is, you find millions of signifiers with the signifiers. There are signifiers. Millions of them. But I already told you, every language is a system. Every language is a system. Now, when you take this word language, the performance of that language. See, it's like you have got electricity, wiring, everything is there. The system is there. Put on the switch, then what will happen is the lights will start. The lights will, you turn on the switch, then what will happen? There will be light. Like that. So, system is there, you are turning on the switch. The turning on the switch is called a parole. So parole, what is the relation between language and parole? Language is the system, like the electricity, in your room, you have got many bulbs and switches and all those things. The whole thing is a system. The use of that is, when you start using it, that is Paro. So, English is a lang. English is a lang, means the system, it is a system, English language. But when you start using English, speaking English, that is Paro. That is the difference. That is how they are related. Now that's because I told you, for the time being, Paro doesn't have much to do with deconstruction, but yes, when you are talking about lang, naturally Paro also, what comes in, you should know what it is. Okay. So there it is. What are we saying now? This is our fourth. Our next point is that language is relational. The relationship is there. Within language there is a relationship. Why? Because it is a system. System, or it is lang. Lang means the system, relationship. Only signifiers have existence only when they remain part of a system. As I have already told you, the man signifier, it has meaning and sense and identity only when it is part of or remains within English. A Malayalam speaking person is if you ask a person, നിങ്ങൾ ഒരു മാനിനെ കണ്ടോ? or Hindi, let us say Hindi. It is आप एक man को देखा. Suppose that person to whom you are asking this question knows only Hindi, then he won't be able to tell you what is man, because that is outside the system of English. I think now that is clear to you. Isn't it? Same thing happens, suppose, now this is PG second year, you are 30 students. You go and sit in the Malayalam class, Hindi MA class, or you go and sit in Sanskrit MA class. You are English, student of English, you are going and sitting there. You have lost your identity. So as an English student, it's like that. I think it is very clear to you. Right? Yes. So, relationship in the language, because the language is a system, because there is a structure in language. But the interesting thing is, now this is the point, this relationship is differential. Differential. So, identity in language is by difference. That means, in simple language, it means there are dictionaries full of signifiers. When you say, you are saying dog. Right? You identify dog, the signifier dog, as dog, because it is not cat. Understand? DOG, even the letters you can see, different, this is different. So what happened? The relationship is there, but this relationship is differential. The signifier man is man because it is not, let us say, 5 million words, just for example, 5 million signifiers. It is different from all the other 5 million signifiers listed in English. That is why we understand man as man. Otherwise, suppose in the dictionary there is 5 million words and all the words are man. How are you going to understand? You have man, you have woman, you have boy, you have girl, you cat, dog, monkey, leaf, tree, flowers, all different. Understand? So in language, a very famous statement by Ferdinand de Saussure, there is only difference. There is no substance. No substance in language. That can be easily written. Dog, is there a dog here? No. Substance is outside language. It is in the world outside. Substance is in the world outside. You are only writing, say, DOG, say that this is dog. In the dictionary, you don't find dog. Do you find dog there in dictionary? Cat in dictionary? Man in dictionary? No. The objects of the substance, that's why Saussure said, no substance in language, only signifiers and signified in differential relation. That's very simple to understand because in the world you can see everything is differentially identified. If we say flat, villa, then cottage, they are different. Flat is flat because it is not villa. Villa is villa, it is not flat. Flat is flat because it is not cottage. Cottage is cottage because it is not a flat. So that, even within that you can see the difference. In the world outside there is only difference. You find different flowers, different trees, different human, different species. You find different animals, kinds of animals, different races of people. That's why we say Chinese, we say Indian, we say American and so on. Different races. So if there is no difference, you can't make sense, you cannot understand anything in this world. Suppose you have only just one kind of, let's say, objects in this world. Only trees in this world. Okay, it's not possible. You cannot even imagine such a situation. Isn't it? In the class, but different. Your identity in the class is differential. Ashok is Ashok because he is not Prasad. Prasad is Prasad because he is not who? Balu. Balu is Balu because he is not Prasad. Isn't it? Laila is Laila because she is not Miss Kasbecker. Miss Kasbecker is Miss Kasbecker because she is not Padmini. Like that. So that is very simple to understand. In language there is only difference. Understand? In language there is no substance. In the dictionary there is no substance. Biscuit is a signifier and it has a signifier. But can you get biscuit in the dictionary? You can't get it. Then it would have been wonderful. No? Your dictionary has all the substance, the biscuit is there, tree is there, flower is there. No. Nothing. Films, they are all different. Isn't it? Aradhana is different from Ganga Yamuna. These are all films. I don't know whether you know this. Or Amne Samne. Amne Samne is different from Zindagi. That's why we said this film is Amne Samne and that film is Zindagi. Understand? So there is only Rally fan is different from Havel fan. Havels, isn't it? Yes. So like that. Everything is, there's only difference. Now this one. Suppose I have only pens with the red caps. How can you distinguish? Cannot distinguish. But when I show like this, you can distinguish. This is red, this is blue, this is black. If no difference, you cannot identify. So in life it is like that. If in the world there is only difference. I mean, I don't say there is only difference. You can understand things only in differential relation. Identity is possible only because of difference. Same with language. What is so wonderful about it? It's a fact. Right? So because he said, cat is dog, because it is not all the other 5 million words listed, 5 million or the total number you can say. So, a point to remember is that every signifier in a language stands in opposition or they are identified by way of their difference from other signifiers of that language. When I say cat, it stands in opposition to all the other words in that dictionary. Dictionary of that language, or words in that language, or signifiers in that language, to be sincere. Is that clear? It's very important. Because here you will find that concept of what we call deconstruction. Slowly you will find it is coming up. Understand? So, I think it is clear now when I say, so you said, there is no substance in language. No substance in the dictionary. No substance in the language means no substance in the dictionary. It is equal. Signifiers in a language is identified by their difference, as it is in this world. Every object in this world is identified by a difference. Like that. Because after all, what is signifier signify? It's nothing but you are connecting it with the world outside. The world outside is difference, being identified by difference. So, naturally, signifier and signifiers are identified by difference. Identifier understood. The world outside can be understood only by difference, differential relation. So, I have already told you, jasmine is jasmine because it is not rose. Understand? So, there are two things you understand. I think now that is clear to you. Because around in the class you can see, you identify your friend because by a differential relation. You identify the objects in the world by differential relation. But these are related now because they exist in this world. So in this world, suppose you consider the world as a structure. These are all items in the world. Outside the world, it has no existence. You don't find any tree in the moon. In that way. So we are speaking about the earth. That is what happens. All the objects in the world can be identified only by difference. Then objects in the world are given signs. We understand this by using signs. And by a sign is connected to the world there is only difference. So in science also there should be only difference. What is wonderful about it? I don't know. Because what are we doing with language? What is language? It's a tool. You use fire. It's a tool for cooking. You use wheels. A tool for moving. You use language, a tool for making sense of the external world. There are other ways also. For example, if you want to show a person who has got a huge belly, you can say like this. That's also one way of communicating. So that way it is a kind of signifier and signified, you can say. Think it in that way. Hope it is clear. Hope it is clear. Substance is in this world. Substance is not in language. Or, to understand it in a much better way, you don't find any substance in dictionary. Substance in dictionary, so what you find in dictionary is signifier and signifier. And this signifiers in a dictionary, I am again repeating this, signifiers in a dictionary, you identify, you understand by their difference. Exactly like that, exactly as we identify objects in the created world by their difference. So, man, woman, difference. So that's all. So today, just I wanted to tell you only 2 points. What is the first one is, there is no substance in language. That's one thing. Clear now. Second is, language is a system or lang. And within this system, you have got, it's a symbolic system. Or you can say system of signifiers with the signifieds assigned to them arbitrarily. And these signifiers we understand or we identify by means of their difference. Like we identify objects in this world by their difference. I think it is clear. Okay. Now, I can also show you, I cannot show you all the 5 million words in a language, but very simple. There is a very simple way of showing this difference. If no difference, no existence. For example, you know, 44 one is p, b, t, d, k, g, f, v, t, d, s, sh, j, h, j, j, l, m, n, ing, r, y, then all the vowels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Consonant sounds. And then you have got E, A, isn't it? And then you have got O, O, U, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 vowels. And you have got A, I, O, isn't it? And then you have got ow, tow, and next is ear, o, and then air. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there you go. You have got 44 phonetic symbols. Well, how do you understand p? Because it is different from all the other 43. There it is. So per stands in opposition to or in differential relation to all the other. This is a system. You can understand this. Per stands in differential relation to all the other 43. Suppose there is only per, all the 44 are per. How can you identify? It's not possible. So again, E is identified. Why? Because it is not the other 43. A dictionary, of course, it is very difficult. I cannot list all the millions of words on the board and say that one cat stands in opposition to all this. But this can be done. And the same thing is happening in the world outside, in all what we do. For example, suppose I am wearing only this red t-shirts every day. Then you cannot identify my other t-shirts. Sometimes I come wearing green, black and so on. So you difference. It's because I wear different colors. You say that today this is red, and the other one is green, the other one is red. Suppose only red every day, 365 days I take class by wearing this red only. How can you identify? You will say that there is, in this world there is only red t-shirt. In my world. Like that. Is that clear now? This is important. Please remember this opposition. Understand? This is a system. And each phonetic sign or phonetic symbol, they stand in this system. You identify one from the other because of their difference. There is only difference in phonetics. Phonetic symbols. Is that clear? Okay. Very good. So these are the 2 points that you must. So today I made 3 points. One is language is relational. Relationship within a structure or system. This system is called language. Of course, the other is called parole, that is your performance, what you do. You start using it. This system, pen, when I start using it, it is parole. That's all. Okay, second. Second one is, the relationship is differential. Differential. Otherwise, you cannot identify. Identification is done by identification by difference only. Difference only. Difference, there's no other way. Everything in this world is like that. How do you identify sun from moon? The sun is different from moon. Suppose there is only suns in the world, then you will look at this world and that's why variety is the spice of life. Okay. So third one is, I said, this point is very important. Identification. Then third one is what understanding. Identification of understanding. Yes. The third one is what I said. There is no substance in language. There is no substance in language. In other words, sugar, you said. You write sugar. In the dictionary you will find sugar. But do you get even a small crystal of sugar in the dictionary? You don't get. Right? You understand? Okay. So now we connect those points I said. Sign, linguistic sign, two inseparable, signifier, signified. Signifier is the cluster of letters or sounds that you write. Signified is the connecting signifier with the objects outside or ideas. Okay? This signifier connecting objects with the signifier is a process. That process is arbitrary. Okay? And the signifiers of existence or life or identity only within that particular system of lang, and their relationship is differential. At home we can see now, father, mother, brother, sister, they are different. Their relationship is differential. That's why you identify them. Suppose there are only 4 fathers or 5 fathers in your family. How can you identify? Very interesting if you study these things, you know. Yes. Okay, and further, then he said that there is no substance in language. When I say there is no substance in language, objects or signs that stand for objects, linguistic signs that stand for objects don't possess or carry that object. For example, dictionary. Is that clear? So far it is clear to you. Right? So then we will continue in the next class. Isn't it? Yes. Or just one more point, if I say, who came first in this world? Who appeared first in this world? Language or objects? Objects. Our history, humans appeared in this world, how many? Maybe a few million years ago. Exactly, I don't know. But what about the history of the universe? Millions and millions and millions of years. So if you say that our existence, humans, say only 100 years. Okay? That is an example. The universe, millions of years. Millions. So who came first? Who appeared first? The objects in the world. And then we. After that, it took years for us to develop a system, a lamb like this. I have a lamb, you have a lamb, means a system of language, they have a lamb. And then what happened is, this, as the culture developed, they wanted to identify things. Humans tried to identify things. And they started calling names. We are tiger, this is dog, this is... And the people who use that particular language, they agreed. And so cat became cat, and Billy became Billy, Pucha became Pucha. That, or Pucha is Malayalam, or cat. So then, Achan became Achan, father became father, Pater became Pater in Latin, Pida in Hindi, Pidaji in Hindi, Appa in Tamil and so on. So actually, now language, that is the naming now, the naming and connecting, that is signifier and signifier. This comes after many millions of years. After the created world. So you understand our relationship. To understand this created world, we started using this tool. And the the smallest part of that tool is signifier. Connected with signifier. So this is how the whole thing happens. Okay, I think now that much is clear. Where do we stand in relation to this world and language? So, that's where we said, only by difference we understand this. Clear? I hope it is clear. So, till we meet again, bye. Have a nice time, enjoy your life.